The beast left an easy trail to follow. The pungent scent of buck and the deep, clear hoof prints on the soggy ground left behind an irresistible trail. Skol sliced through the forest in swift pursuit. He chased the signs into the night, but never caught sight of the stag. The two sidekicks, Hati and Cap, struggled in vain to keep Skol in sight. Soon the two pups were hunting wolf instead of stag. Hati stopped and growled into the evening breeze. "Brother, you are obsessed." Cap ran back to Hati. "What are you doing? We're going to lose him. Come on, let's go." He turned to continue the chase. After a short gallop, he glanced behind to find Hati walking in the opposite direction. He hurried back and barked, "Are you crazy? We'll never catch him now." Hati said, "Skol is lost. He's obsessed with this chase. He probably hasn't even noticed that the sun is nearly gone. If we don't turn back, we won't make it to Luna tonight. As it is, we're going to be punished for abandoning the hunt. If I don't come up with a good story, we'll go hungry tonight, and that's the best case." Cap trotted down the trail toward Skol and cried out in his loudest howl, "How-woo! Skol!" There was no response. "Guess you're right. We shouldn't have followed Skol. We could be eating high on the hog right now at home." He lowered his head and moped toward Hati. "But would have been crazy if we caught that stag. If any dog could bring one down, I'd bet on Skol." The two abandoned the chase for Skol and turned to find the way back to Luna. Darkness covered the forest, making it a chore to stay aligned with the trail back to Luna. There were many sets of prints. The path broke off in different directions where they had made and corrected mistakes earlier in the day. They found themselves running in circles, following new tracks on top of old ones. Cap's stomach grumbled. He asked, "Think there'll be any fresh meat left when we get home?" "Not used to being hungry, huh? I think you should stay focused on getting us home first." Cap said, "Hati, have you ever been this deep in these woods before?" Hati said, "Nope." "You don't think we can get lost out here, do you?" "Hope not." Nervous energy spiked through their muscles, and they picked up the pace. Skol followed the stag's trail for hours. Signs slowly diminished, and he paused for the first time. Darkness shrouded the forest and caught him off guard. He searched back along the trail for his mates. "They deserted me," he thought. "I must be deep in the forest. Never been this far before." He shook his head to clear the cobwebs and ponder his next move. He noticed a faint glow on the horizon. "Wow, not long till sunup," he thought. "I've been running all night. Dad's gonna kill me. Hope Hati comes up with a good story. Stupid stag is gone. Guess I need to figure out how to—" Movement in the distance. Skol froze. Where is it? Whatever caused the disturbance remained camouflaged by the forest. His attention turned to a clearing off to his right. He crouched and trotted quietly. The babble of flowing water caught his attention. There, something is drinking from a stream. He crept closer. The stag! He's breathing heavily. Must have known I was on him. He's struggling to stay ahead of me. Okay, big guy, let's see how close I can get before you notice. Skol crawled forward, hugging the trail's edge. Closer, closer. Wind flooded into and gushed out of the stag's hungry lungs. The deer jerked its head in the crisp morning air. Steam rose from its nostrils and mouth as it picked up the dog's scent. He pounded his right front hoof on the rocks to scare off the threat. He filled his lungs and belched a guttural snort. Skol stepped into view of the stag and growled, "Here I am, friend. Nice to finally meet you." The stag lowered its massive rack of antlers to the ground. It pawed the mud, swung its head of bony spines through the leaves, and grunted, "Come and get it, mutt." Skol lunged for the bull's neck. It threw its antlers into the fight. Skol dodged, narrowly avoiding a strike. The stag raised its front legs and kicked at Skol. As the stag's feet fell back to the ground, Skol attacked again. He clenched onto the windpipe of the stag. The massive shoulders of the beast shook. His body shuddered as he bucked and thrashed. Skol lost his grip and flew across to the creek bed, landing on jagged rocks. The stag lowered its head and drove its antlers toward the wolf. One of the antler spines struck Skol's shoulder. "Yow!" Skol used his hind legs to retreat to the water's edge. Blood dripped from the neck of the stag. He held his head low and glared at Skol. "Want more, dog?" Puffs of smoke spewed from its snout. Skol raised up and staggered, but his shoulder buckled and he collapsed. Antlers forward, the bull attacked. Skol barely dodged the strike. He hobbled to get away, but the bull stayed on him. Skol's shoulder burned in pain. Antlers jabbed at him again, but with little force, and Skol absorbed the blow without damage. The skirmish circled for what seemed to be an eternity. Both combatants labored for oxygen. The stag hemorrhaged from the wound on his neck. Finally, the beast dropped to its knees. Using his 3 good legs, Skol attacked. He jumped against the bull and thrust for the neck. The stag tried to stand, but the weight of the full-grown wolf was too much. Skol clenched onto the bloody throat of the beast. The two remained bound with fitful jerks until the elk fell quiet, lifeless. Exhausted, Skol collapsed on top of the dead bull. He had won his prize, but the price was high. He howled weakly, "Ow!" "Wait till everyone gets a look at this guy." Skol collapsed again. His eyes closed.